Mr. Odogu,
If you look around, you go see evidence.
having spent so much money, time, and effort to get the hand of his Achalugo in marriage,
Achalugo, I'm going to marry you.
got back from a business trip on this fateful day, only to find a guy on his beautiful wife in their matrimonial bed.
I'm really sorry.
Mr. Odogu was enraged and ran towards this young guy who was attempting to jump through the balcony. Mr. Odogu pushed him and he fell from their two-story building.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
The guy died. Is Mr. Odogu going to spend the rest of his life in prison, or is he guilty of murder wherein he will also be killed? Welcome to Education. Welcome to another episode of our legal podcast, where we break down legal concepts, legal topics, legal matters, to break it down to your understanding in a way in which you will understand it without going to the law school. Today we are discussing the defense of provocation. Defense of provocation. Provocation occurs when somebody, under reasonable circumstance, would ordinarily, or he actually did that thing that caused him to lose self-control. That a reasonable person is going to lose self-control in that occasion, and this man acts out of passion, which is due to the fact that he has no control over his mind at the moment. What are the elements of this defense of provocation? Number one, the courts have held definition of the courts, or even definition in the law, has brought out these three important elements of the defense of provocation. Number one is that the act of provocation must be done in the heat of passion. That is, whatever the person bringing the defense of provocation did was done out of the heat of passion. I will explain that very shortly. Number two is that there is a loss of self-control, which an actual person or a reasonable person would have done before he had a time to cool off or to cool down. That is, he acted out of self-control, which any other person would have done before he had a time to cool down his temper. And then number three is that the retaliation done is such that is not disproportionate, that is commensurate to the provocation done. Now, let's break these three elements down. Heat of passion. Now, this element requires that the acts that cause the death of the other person happen in the heat of passion. Now, the passion we are talking about must have been caused by sudden provocation from the other person. Now, the fact that he had abused him previously, he had insulted him previously, will not be sufficient as act of provocation, because this loses the element of suddenness. Now, an act of revenge that is not done in the heat of passion will not qualify under this heading. Now, the second point, which is the loss of self-control. Now, this suggests a situation where the person who was provoked will be in such a brainstorm where he will have lost control over his mind at that moment. He had lost control of himself at that moment, and it's what a reasonable person would also have done in that situation. Appropriate retaliation is the third element. Now, this requires that the elements or the provocation done and the act of revenge in that situation must be so proportional to each other. Well, all of these are matters of facts which will only be tendered to the court, and the court will determine it based on each case. No two cases are the same in this kind of situation. The court will, analyze every element of it and then be able to decide whether it qualifies under this defense. What is the implication of a successful raising of the defense of provocation? The defense of provocation exonerates the accused from the offense of murder. However, by section 318 of the Criminal Code, anyone who has successfully raised the defense of provocation will only be guilty of manslaughter, in which case the capital punishment will not be meted out to him. That is, that he should face firing squad or that he should be hung. That will not be applied to him. But the punishment for manslaughter, which is life imprisonment, will now be applicable to him. In the case of our dear Odogu, you also, from what I have discussed with you, can you please drop in the comment section, what do you think the punishment, or what do you think the implication of what Mr. Odogu did would be? Drop in the comment section, let us enjoy it together. Will it qualify as self-defense, defending his property, or will it qualify as a provocation? Will he be able to raise the defense of self-defense or provocation in this matter? Please drop your opinion in the comment section. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining with us. We really appreciate you. Please, before you leave, ensure that you click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you will get notified anytime we post our videos. And please share to others. Thank you. See you again next week.